If you cast your vote for Donald Trump, we're done.
Hey y'all, welcome to Cessa's Spill, and today we're spilling about one of the bills that Donald Trump has signed into law. People are giving different opinions that this is not going to be safe. That usually it was safe for it was safe work environment, but because of what Donald Trump has done, it's not going to be that way. I'm going to bring videos for you guys to see in a bit. I mean, some people were crying literally, some people were broken down. At the end of the day, some people like Trump and some people don't like Trump. And what this is for the American citizens, I mean, we might never know, because I mean, like, it's just a few days into the siege right now. But we watch to see how all of this is going to unfold at the end of the day. But anything that was put in there to make it safe for the whites and the blacks and other races to coexist, I mean, I feel like there should be nothing that stop it. But I mean, it is what it is. Let's go listen to what people talk about all of this, and I'll be right back.
For every black Republican, I really want y'all to take a long look in the mirror and ask, do you love the color of your skin? Because y'all allowed this man in office. It's something that our ancestors fought for, got beat for, got dogs on them, got sprayed with water hoses, got hung for. They fought for these rights for us, and y'all squandered them away for money. Y'all squandered them away just to be closer to white people. What a disgrace y'all are to our community. My mom wasn't even born when this shit came through. My mom wasn't even born. And you mean to tell me y'all let this man take this from us? Something our ancestors fought for? Y'all really let that shit happen? If you are black and you voted for this man, go play in traffic. Because this shit right here, this should have never happened. Everybody is about to suffer for this. Everybody. Everybody. Race, color, religion, national origin. This man is making America white again before Jim Crow, and we told y'all that. We told y'all he is trying to take us back to Jim Crow. And y'all sat there and y'all said, I don't want DEI. I don't want an advantage. DEI is not a fucking advantage. It's just to put us in the room because we're just as qualified as any other white man. And y'all let this shit go down. I'm gonna try not to cry because the bitch got a meeting.
This is why people stopped talking to y'all while you were excommunicated from your family and friends, because we knew this was going to happen. Donald Trump has revoked the Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1965. Make America Great Again always meant a return to open racism, sexism, and other forms of bigotry. You were either too stupid to know that, or this is what you wanted all along. In either case, you're trash. The order prohibited discrimination in hiring and employment based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. His voters wanted this all along because they were told many times that this would happen. That's why they're all grouped together and we have a zero tolerance policy for them. They knew they were wrong about it because they were crashing out, but we stand by what we said. We don't want you here. You can't hang out with us. The presidential message says that industries and institutions have adopted and actively used dangerous, demeaning, and immoral race and sex-based preferences under the guise of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion. So-called diversity, equity, and inclusion, because everything was so fair prior to 1965. I know his voters are dumb and he's trying to rewrite history, but they can't be that dumb. He calls it ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity, back before black people had rights. It's not a meritocracy when black people can't vote and they're not allowed to hold certain positions. Restoring merit-based opportunity means restoring white supremacy. I'm just going to say it now because TikTok's suppressing me anyway. You know who benefited from the Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1965? Katherine Johnson, a black woman and mathematician at NASA who wasn't allowed in the same meeting rooms as white men and couldn't put her name on her research papers. Is this the kind of merit-based opportunity he's talking about? To my friends wanting to know what to do next, be disruptive and vocal because every battle counts. We're the ones who have the power, not them.
I'm going to be very short and very to the point. To the white people watching this, and especially to the white people that know me in the real world, my friends, okay? Today, Trump did away with the Equal Employment Opportunity Act. You know the history of that, and you know why it had to be implemented in the first place. So when you went in that booth, if you cast your vote for Donald Trump, we're done. If you didn't hear me the other times I've said it, I just want to reiterate it now. You cannot vote for somebody that takes away the Equal Employment Opportunity Act, knowing the history behind it and why it had to be put in place. You can't cast your vote for him and look at me and tell me that you love me. You're done. And I mean that for life. Unfucking believable. They try to paint it as this saving grace for civil rights when really they just want to fill the federal government with all of their selected employees that are loyalists no matter what. So even after the 4 years that Donald Trump is done, even if another MAGA loyalist or Republican takes the presidency, they still have to go through all of this bullshit because now you got only MAGA federal employees. No diversity, no inclusion. Talking about some fucking based off merit. We know what it has to be based off. Did you bend the knee to Donald Trump? Cool. You now have a job in the federal government. We fired everybody else. You knew what you were voting for. Donald Trump knows he cannot run again. If you think that you think they're doing all this shit just to disappear in 4 years, they're setting it up for the long game. They're setting it up for the fucking long game. So now if I go in and I want to get a loan for a home, if I want to get a business loan, I guarantee you it's going to be so much easier for the white man who they love and select to get a loan than it is for me to start my business. Fast forward into the next generation, my bloodline is now affected because I couldn't start my business as soon as this guy could because he's white and he got the loan. It's an example, but do you see how shit like this affects generation after generation after generation? We get robbed of opportunities because of your selfish ass vote. Did he sign an executive order for price gouging? Did he sign a fucking executive order for these grocery stores to stop looking at you with no fucking money and increasing the prices anyway? That's what he told y'all. Where's the executive order for that? Oh, well, it's a process and it's complicated. It can't, excuses. Like it always fucking is from y'all. Done, dude. Out my fucking face, man. Think about how big of a fucking pussy you have to be, man. You don't want anybody criticizing you or speaking out against your ideology, so you try to suppress the flow of information in social media because you're a strong leader, but you can't take fucking criticism. And then on top of that, when you lose or when your people lose, you blame it on fucking DEI and the corrupt government. Because the guy who you fucking lost to is not fucking white, but he's also more qualified than you. You can't fucking wrap your head around that. You have fucking terminal, incurable hatred in your heart. And it's genuinely not until recently I had to accept that even those type of people can fucking exist. I cannot control your existence, but I can control your access to my fucking life, bro. Out of here.
On this great day in history, 60 years ago today, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 became law in the United States of America. As the daughter of someone who grew up in segregated North Carolina, both parents really, it really dawns on me how far we've come. My mom grew up in a community where she couldn't use the water fountain, where she could not sit anywhere she wanted to on a public bus, where there were parts of her town she literally could not go into unless she was going for work during certain hours. We've come a long way as a nation, but there's still discrimination in its ugly forms. And we must rise up in 2024 to show everyone who fought to get that landmark legislation passed that we're still fighting for fairness, for justice, for equity, for every single person in America.
Don't you love when you log on to Instagram on your work break and you find out from the shade room, that another right is taken away? Another right is taken away. A right that you are specifically impacted by. And then you find out Not on no news outlet. You found out on the Shade Room, where they post pop the balloon clips. And mind you, this right that was taken away, an executive order from the head honcho himself. Don't you love it? But my lunch break is over and I have to go back to work. I have to go back to work. A place that is now eligible to fire me because my race, my color of my skin, my sexual orientation, my gender. I have to go back to work because if I don't, I will be homeless. I love to be an American where at least I know I'm free.
So what I learned today is a lot of y'all you don't care about your history. You don't care about the people that made sacrifices for you to be able to be where you are today, to be able to do the things that you're able to do, to be able to have the opportunities that you're able to have. You don't care about it. I just got off the phone with my mom, who just got off the phone with her mom, my grandmother, who she had to console because she was boo-hoo crying. And my mom didn't realize why. My grandmother was crying because she had saw the news that the orange man in charge had just put an executive order to repeal the Equal Opportunity Employment Act of the Civil Rights Act of 1965. Now understand, before that executive order was placed, that stood for over 50 years. An employer could literally tell you to your face, well, I'm sorry, I don't hire black people. I don't hire women. And no consequences. They could literally be just that discriminatory towards people. And the reason that it upset my grandmother so much is because she remembers my great-grandmother and great-grandfather, her parents, the sacrifices, the marching, the hard working, the speaking out and trying to help change, trying to help get these opportunities for us, and the sacrifices these people made to their own families, not being around their families sometimes because they were fighting for the good of us as a people, as a whole. And all this time later, to see what you might think is trivial, what you might think is small, to see something that they worked, sacrificed, clawed, and scratched for be taken away by the stroke of a pen. And all because a few of us, not saying a lot of us, a few of us, because it was 92% and 80%. But every one of us counts. And a few of us decided a little bit of money was more important than preserving our history, than preserving the things that we fought for, to be able to have opportunities in this place. It's just sad, man. It's sad that, the further we get away from those times, the further our elders pass away and leave this world, and we aren't taught the things we need to be taught, and the knowledge isn't passed on to us. The further we get from that, the more and more easily it's going to be for us for things to roll back and go back in that direction. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but hey, man, just gotta keep grinding, keep fighting a good fight, and look for better days, work towards better days. But man, just hearing my mom and knowing that hurt my grandmother like that it's crazy, man. Yeah, we gotta do better. As a whole, we gotta do better.
I opened Twitter.com. That was my first mistake. But then seeing that the Equal Employment Opportunity Act, that has been a statute since 1965, that has been a statute of my life, that has literally helped me so much in just all of the jobs that I've worked, that's been revoked now. Okay. Granted, I know I just posted a video 20 minutes ago talking about hope and community and all that. I still believe in all that, but are you kidding me?
So Donald Trump just revoked the 1965 Equal Employment Opportunity Act, which prevented employers from discriminating when they are hiring. So because Donald Trump just revoked this act, this means employers can now, quote, openly refuse to hire individuals based on race, gender, religion, nationality, or sex, effectively reversing decades of progress that has been made towards workplace equality. Not only could this affect the hiring process, but we could also see bigger pay gaps between races, minorities, genders, and nationalities. Without the protections from this act, employers could now effectively pay non-white, non-male employees less. So there you have it. It is day 3 of Trump's presidency, and he just repealed an act that has been in place for nearly 60 years in America in what could be his most cruel act yet. Insane.
Those in the black community about to find the fuck out. Trump just sat here and revoked the Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1965. What this means is anywhere that you apply to work at, they could turn you away because of your skin color. Bro is basically sitting here making it to the point that we're going to be living back in the 1960s, where we were highly discriminated against. And the sad part is, this is what the black community voted for. They thought that they were going to get another stimulus check. They thought that they was going to get all their jobs back. They thought that they were going to be a part of the white supremacy. And now it's going to be hard for them to even get a job. We already have nothing as it is. And yet, now we about to have more of nothing at all. This tells you the stupidity of the American people, especially the black community. A bunch of money-hungry, greedy fucks.
I posted a video a few weeks ago where I talked about the federal workers and how they would be mandated to return to the office 5 days a week. At that time, I know a lot of people were hopeful that that wouldn't happen, and I know a lot of people were worried that it would happen. Just in case you weren't watching, I have some news. President Trump just signed an executive order mandating that all federal workers return to office in person 5 days a week immediately. I'm sure this is going to cause some disruption for employees who have become accustomed to working remote full time. I'm saying that because they expect the disruption to the lives of the employees who have been working remote. However, they also expect a high level of attrition. They actually welcome the attrition, and they expect many federal employees to just quit instead of returning back to office. They think it's great and really look forward to these federal employees quitting. That way, they don't have to pay them severance. This is part of a broader plan, so those people who don't quit and actually return to office could be laid off at a later date. Now, I remember vaguely talking about who the targets were in my other video, and that would be the federal workers who make 6 figures. In addition to the return to office mandate, he signed a hiring freeze as well. I just want to reiterate that if you are a federal worker with a remote arrangement, your job is probably not safe. It is my hope if you saw my video a few weeks ago and you took it serious, you have start preparing for this moment. As I always say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
You guys, you heard it all right there. I mean, like, what do you make out of this? What are your thoughts concerning this? We're hearing different people give these different analogies and different angles to different things. What are your thoughts? Please let us know in the comment section. Do you think Trump is doing a good job so far? Or do you think, I mean, things are meant to go down the hill? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.